Hey everybody, here we go. Sixth here, going to be giving you the finals from the BSG, brought to you by SC2SEA.com. On the northern side, we do have the RR Yellow Protoss Noobinater facing off once again against the Orange Terran iMaster. And those last set of games versus Void was actually the semifinals best of three. Here we do have the finals best of three. And that's all I'm going to be casting from this tournament, I believe. And it does look like that they have spawned cross-positionally north to south on Lost Temple. So this is going to be a PvT. Hopefully we are going to be seeing iMaster's Ghost build from that first game versus Void, just because that was really sexy, to be honest. I really love that build. Getting out this early Ghost to build up the energy, yes please. And looks like that Master's going to be building up his first supply depot, very, very standard. And Noobinater is actually going to be walling off here with his base, so good play versus Terran. Let's compare this to the Zelnaga game, compared to what Void did. Basically, like, Void chose to wall off here at the top of the ramp, and I'm seriously not trying to bash him, just because a lot of people do this. I do this, I wall off at the top of the ramp versus Terran as well. Noob's placement is actually, you know, it's economically a little bit better. I don't think that's a big deal as much as people would like to think. But it does look like he will be a little bit more secure. And if he ever loses the top of this base, at least he can still produce, you know what I mean? And he can retreat with his army down here. If the Terran army moves to attack here, he can cut off reinforcements as well as attack from behind. And it looks like the gateway is coming up as well. So on iMaster's side of things, he's just getting his refinery up now. He's keeping on his SCB count, which is always good. And there we go, another SCV. Nicely done, nicely done. No signs of that second refinery quite yet, quite yet. And it looks like that the barracks is going to be finishing up now. Orbital command should be going up quite soon. And Noobinater is getting his assimilator and second pylon. He's going to be chrono boosting out probes, all the huge, because that is huge. And here we do have the orbital command going up right now on 15 supply, so ordinary timing, whereas on Zelnaga cabins he did choose to squeeze out that early refinery and the 16th SCV. And it looks like that Noobinator is going to get a full scout off, just because the Marine isn't out quite yet. Does look like the rally point is set to the probe right now. Yeah, whatever. Orbital command finishes up. No signs of any SCVs at the moment. He just bring down the mule and set an SCV. Oh my god, build SCVs. Please build them, and there we go. We do have the SCV right there. Looks like the Tech Lab's going to be coming on quite soon. He's going to have that 100 gas very, very soon. Going to be hiding the Ghost Academy here in the corner. Nice play right there. And the Cybernetics core is finally up for Noobinator. He's going to be able to get that warp gate research as well as the second assimilator. Possibly build a second gateway right now, just because he does have the minerals for it currently. And iMaster coming in here in turn, able to get a full scout off. Looks like that Noobinator will be skipping that first Zealot and going straight to Stalker Tech. No chrono boost being spent at the moment on the warp gate or the probes or the stalker. Second assimilator just finishing up right now. It does look like that iMaster will be choosing to get the concussive shell upgrade very, very early, as well as getting an early Marauder. So yeah, Marauder Ghost. Nice mix right there. And I love this concussive shells upgrade. You know, it is so handy to have for 50-50. It's pretty much game changing actually. The second barracks is going up currently, and it looks like that first Ghost will be coming out right now as well. Not sure if he's going to invest in a bunker like he did in the other game, but I probably wouldn't suggest it right now, because he needs to build a supply depot, and he is building a supply depot. On a Noobinator side of things, we actually have 2 gates and a robotics facility, as well as a third gate, so 3-gate robo. Not sure if he can afford all of this on one base, however, you know, he might just be trying to get out an observer or a warp prism. He doesn't necessarily have to be going for immortals, however, that would aid his cause greatly against the Marauders with those hardened shields. Noobinator just going to be putting on pylons on the perimeter of his base, trying to spot everything. I would believe the next one will be going here on the other side of the reeds, just because it's good to get a little bit of a scout. And it looks like that Noobinator came in here and forced an EMP, so just from that, he's got some valuable intel. He saw that he got EMP'd, he saw that he got slowed by the Marauders, so he knows that there's concussive shells, that iMaster will definitely be going for Marauders and Ghosts. And he knows that because, well, I'm hoping that he knows that because he rushed to Ghosts, his overall unit count will be lower, because Ghosts are so expensive. Getting out the Ghost Tech is more expensive. And getting up that third racks now. Observer on the way for Noobinator as well, popping out of these 3 gateways pretty consistently. He looks like he will be going for an early contain here at the Zelnaga Watchtower. Very nice play to take your opponent's as an Overwatch tower. You can always spot the opponent's force if you keep looking onto the minimap, and pull back if you feel a little bit intimidated. You're just going to be putting up a proxy pylon right here. Always good to hotkey the nearest proxy pylon, people. You need to do it. It'll help you so much once you get used to just pressing like 2-2, macro, 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 and then select your army again. And it doesn't look like that iMaster's actually using many hotkeys. He's only using this one, 5-5, for his orbital command. If we go to Noobinater, however, he's using 4. So he's got this army, he's got his Nexus, he's got his Robo. Of course, he's got W for the warp gates, and he's got the Observer on 3, and he actually doesn't see it much. Let's see if iMaster is able to see the Observer. You can see it right there if you're looking for it, and actually Ghost can EMP it and kill it. Of course, you need to have some pretty sharp eyes to see that while you're focusing on a game. It does look like that Noobinator is going to spot this army. He'd retreated the wrong way, but he did make the right choice to retreat there. I believe that the MP would have taken him out pretty much completely. And here he does have a lot of sentries. He needs to get off some perfect force fields to cut the army in half, but does not look like he will do that quite in time. He managed to take out a couple units. He needs to pull back right now. This is the same thing that Void did. He sent in his EMP'd army and lost everything. It just looked like that. Noobinator will be following suit, however, he does manage to sort of recover a couple units. He's going to be trying to get out that Nexus again. This is just a reflection of what happened to Void. However, over here he does have a little bit of a high ground advantage. His production facilities are far back, so he can keep pumping out units regardless of how much ground he loses. It looks like this Observer will be coming in here. However, iMaster's force this time around is much, much smaller, so this Immortal can do some massive damage. He needs to get up a... He doesn't actually need to bring up the force field. It's not really doing much. 2 more Zealots being warped in. Looks like they're going to go to work. This Immortal is actually trying to take on all of these Ghosts, and neither is that effective against either. And it looks like that these 2 Ghosts will be retreating. Nice play right there from iMaster, putting up some guaranteed damage before pulling back with more expensive units. He's going to be linking up with his reinforcements and possibly going in for some more pressure. How this Observer over here will be able to spot anything as well as this pylon. Going to be warping in more units and getting that Immortal up. The Nexus has finished for a Noobinator, so he should be made some workers very, very soon to try and even out the mineral distribution between bases. And it looks like on Master's side of things, he's going to be getting up a couple of reactor barracks as well to try and change up that composition. Go for more marine heavy. However, he is going to be queuing up some Marauders, which will be eating up some minerals that he could be using to expand, or even building some marines as well. And a little bit of contain here from iMaster, going to be spotted by Noobinator's Observer. More gateway units being warped in, and this expansion is definitely on the way at the moment, and it looks like that iMaster is going to be scanning both bases, spotting that there are a couple more gateways. So it's 5 gate, 1 robo at the moment, 6 gate, 1 robo. And it does look like there's massive EMPs going on at the moment. These Zealots are doing massive work as well. Going to be chewing up all these Marauders. Just really not the right time to engage, I guess. I feel like if this is just a reflection of what happened in that game 1, except this time the push failed. And iMaster does not have an expansion. He does have enough minerals. He totally has enough resources to do it, but he didn't take that command center when he had the chance to, and now he might not be able to get that chance. As looks like that Noobinator is going to be continuing to press his lead. He's not really using much Chrono Boost, actually. Both of his Nexi are very, very high on energy. It looks like he's going to be getting down the Robotics Bay to get out some Colossus. Just in time as well. I mean, iMaster is changing up his composition now to more Marine Heavy. Going to be getting out of Factory, possibly taking to Medevacs. But I really need to see a command center come out from iMaster for his mid-game to be viable in any sort of competition, really, against Noobinator's 2 base. And I guess this is what I was talking about in that first game versus Void. Just some expansion timing stuff. And it does look like that he has the combat shields. No signs of Stimpack. Curious that he would get an upgrade that affects only his Marines when he could get an upgrade that affects his Marines and Marauders and increases their attack greatly. Starport going up right now. It looks like he is going to be putting down a Tech Lab and getting a second Starport. So maybe we're going to see some Banshees coming in, as he is going to be swapping these 2 off, I would believe. And I really think that this is the wrong play right now. This is starting to look like an all-in. He needs to get up a command center, man. And yeah, please get up a command center. It looks like the first Tech Lab is done. He's going to be building a second one with this factory. And Noobinator is very content just to sit out at the front. He should be getting up a proxy pylon. Definitely need to rally these units down here properly. And this probe needs to come down here and put a pylon right here. In fact, you know, Noobinator has got total map control. I really think that he could even take a 3rd base. He's instead going to be getting out that extended thermal lance, chrono boosting it out, getting supply capped a little bit. But yeah, Also going to be building the forge. What a lot of the newer players will not realize is that the more production facilities you have, the shorter time between pylons, if that makes sense. Because at the beginning of the game, it's kind of like, oh, I'm on 17 out of 18. I need to build a pylon, right? Actually, you should build it around 16. But whatever. But you know, as you build more gateways and more robotics, that the rate at which you can eat up the food supply is quicker. So you need to build up those pylons quicker as well. And it does look like that Noobinater is going to be sitting on a lot of excess minerals currently. He's not building out of these warp gates quite as well as Eddie would like to, including himself. And one way of burning these extra minerals is putting down a nexus. You can do that, or you can put pylons around the perimeter, because with this observer, I'm guessing that he's seeing that there's no second base. Well, at the moment, yeah. And the only thing that can really mess up his economic lead right now would be drops, really. And using those pylons around the perimeter would just help him spot for those drops. Also, denying any expansions so that the Terran can take, he could put a pylon in all those places illustrated right then. And it does look like that iMaster's army is going to be massing up very, very marine heavy. However, these Colossi are actually going to eat it up for breakfast. No signs of any upgrades from either player at the moment, so a little bit of room to work on there. And yeah, definitely going to need to take a third base. Noobinater is sitting currently on 1,500 minerals and 500 gas. Just because, I don't know, I guess he's not producing out of these gateways as often as he can be. It's kind of like a larva with warp gates. And why I say that is because if you miss an inject, you sort of miss on the complete potential maximum. You miss out on the maximum units that you could have had, right? Because you don't have as much larva. Same way with warp gates. If you miss a warp gate cooldown, then you miss out on the maximum units of the maximum number of units you could have gotten out of those warp gates, just because you missed the timing a little bit. I mean, he could get a zealot out now, and it would cool down faster, right? Not faster, but you get what I mean. And it does look like that iMaster will be pushing out. Maybe going to take a base. However, it does look like that Noobinater will be coming in here, forcing the bait on all of this, all the EMPs with the faster units with the Stalkers. Nice play right there. Going to be putting up his Guardian Shields, and these Colossi are just going to go to work, honestly. They need to pull back a little bit, but they're going to go to work. Nice little sentry placement right here with the Guardian Shield. He was actually following the Colossi right there. But just looks like that the Protoss Concave is going to be too much. These Immortals have done massive work. It just looks like that iMaster will be calling good game. This one Ghost is standing amidst of all this army, and he's like, oh my god, please end the game. And iMaster does leave the game. So that was the first game out of the best of 3 from the finals. Best of 3, not best of 3. And thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the next game. Please post in the comments below if you have any advice for these players, or if you just want to bash me, or if you want to debate with me, or whatever.